Hi, I'm Grant.
And I'm Kathy. Welcome back to our Change How You Think weekly video podcast.
If you'd like to hear from us every week, then subscribe to our video by clicking on the weekly video tab at the top of this page. Fill out the subscription form and you'll get our free ebook, Healthy Moods.
Forgiveness is a powerful spiritual weapon that Satan doesn't want you to use. He wants to keep you trapped in unforgiveness so he can torment you. But there's a lot of confusion about what true forgiveness really is.
In the Free Your Mind program, we have an entire course on forgiveness called Freedom Through Forgiveness. This week we want to show you an excerpt of Lesson 1 of that course because it will explain what forgiveness is and what it isn't. Watch it now and we'll talk to you again after.
Forgiveness is something we need to practice frequently. Offenses can come from those who deliberately attack us, but many hurts come from those who we love and unintentionally wound us.
Forgiveness is often difficult, especially if the offense was deliberate. Our natural inclination is to defend ourselves and want revenge. We don't want them to get away with what they did since they are clearly guilty. They need to be punished and we want to do it.
It's important to understand that forgiveness is not approving, excusing, or justifying their actions. What they did was wrong. They sinned against you, and they may have to pay the consequences of what they did. Remember, in John chapter 8, Jesus did not condone the behavior of the woman caught in adultery. He forgave her, and then he told her to stop sinning.
Forgiving someone who hurt you isn't denying what they've done. Repressing the memory of an offense is not forgiveness. Denial and repression are ways that we try to put the offense out of our minds and avoid the hard work of forgiveness. All that does is stuff the pain into our emotional baggage where it will inevitably resurface later.
Ignoring an offense is not forgiveness either. It just leaves the problem unresolved, which means the pain and frustration will fester and grow inside you, waiting for an opportunity to explode.
Pretending you aren't hurt is also not forgiveness. That's another form of repression and ignoring, which is unhealthy.
To forgive, you must acknowledge that you were hurt. Otherwise, there's nothing to forgive. When you forgive in the face of your pain, it brings you a greater personal and emotional spiritual victory.
Forgiveness does not mean that the offense is erased from your memory. It's a historic fact in your life story. Nothing can erase it. But you can choose what you do with the memory after you have forgiven.
You can choose to stop reviewing and reminding yourself of what happened. 1 Corinthians 13:5 says, "Love keeps no record of wrongs." When you have forgiven, you choose to consider the issue resolved and then you move on.
Forgiveness is a very self-serving action. We forgive because of what it will do for us. It sets us free mentally, spiritually, and emotionally.
When you have forgiven, you no longer need to punish or take revenge on the one who hurt you. You release the offense to Jesus and consider the matter closed.
When you have forgiven, you don't tell others what someone did to you. Telling others is gossiping and a form of revenge to destroy their reputation. When God forgives you, He doesn't tell anyone what you've done. You should act the same way.
Of course, the exception is when you're speaking to a counselor about the pain from the event. You can tell them everything since that's part of the healing process and they won't be sharing the information with other people.
Forgiveness must happen at the heart level. Anything else is superficial and temporary. Whatever is in your heart will spill out eventually. That's why in Matthew 12:34 it says, "For the mouth speaks what the heart is full of." When you have truly forgiven, there won't be any need to talk about the offense ever again.
When you forgive, you give up the need for the offender to ask for forgiveness. If you want them to feel guilty, that's a form of punishment and revenge. It's likely never going to happen, so don't let that delay the freedom that you could have by forgiving.
Forgiveness is a very personal event. It's just between you and God and for your own personal benefit. Forgiveness releases you from the chains that come from the pain of the offense, the resulting bitterness, and the need for revenge.
It does not require the participation or repentance from the offender, so you can forgive at any time you choose.
It's very unlikely that you will actually feel like forgiving someone who hurt you. So forgiveness isn't easy or spontaneous. But when you choose to do the right thing and set yourself free by forgiving, chains come off you. The bitterness fades and healthy feelings begin to return. You no longer need to punish them or tell others what happened. You're set free.
So you can see that true forgiveness is more than just saying, I forgive you.
It's most effective when it happens at a heart level, and for that you need Jesus to help you forgive.
The good news is that He wants to help you so you can outsmart the enemy and use this powerful spiritual weapon.
If you'd like to learn more about forgiveness, why don't you join us in the Free Your Mind program?
It will guide you through the process of transformation mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. You can learn more about it and see all the other topics we cover using the links below this video.
We'll talk to you again next week, but this week, ask God for the courage to forgive.